Hey, it's Mark Liddy with your video thought for the day. Well, this week I've been looking at different names of God used in the Old Testament. And these are names that are ascribed to him as kind of an add-on to his actual name. And his actual name is translated in older versions as Jehovah, in newer versions as Lord. If you're reading it in Hebrew and you come across the name of God, which are those four letters, YH, WH, or VH. When you come across it in Hebrew, you would say Hashem, which means the name, or you would say Adonai, which means Lord. And so I've been looking at where the name of God is affixed to another word. And I hope you've had a chance to look back at these and watch them. Today, I've got another one. Now, instead of saying Jehovah, I'm saying Hashem, which means the name in Hebrew. So today, I want to look at a really special one. It's Hashem Shalom. Now, you probably know Shalom is the Hebrew word for peace, but not just peace in the sense like, oh, I wish peace would come to the Ukraine or something like that. It's a much more fulsome idea of peace and tranquility and good health and all of these aspects. Let me tell you where this came up. In the book in the Old Testament called Judges, chapter 6, there is a story that takes place at a time where the Midianites had really been bothersome to Israel. Israel was in their land, they'd plant their crops, and the Midianites would wait till the crops were becoming ripe and ready to be harvested, and they'd swoop in, they'd bring their the Midianites would swoop in, they'd bring their livestock, they'd steal all of the crops under the Israelites' nose, they'd bring in an army and they'd just take everything, and the Israelites have nothing. They don't have food for their animals, they don't have food for themselves and their families. And this was just a horrible problem. And Israel didn't have an army put together and didn't really have a leader who was going to go out there and deal with the Midianites and put a stop to this. So within the framework of this, God calls from this podunky little family, this fella. His name's Gideon. And God sends this angel to visit with Gideon and says to Gideon, you're the guy. You're going to be used by God to stop the Midianites. And Gideon visits with them and says, well, hey, if I'm the guy, would you just stay right here and let me get some stuff ready for you, and then we'll see what's, I think Gideon kind of wanted to prove that this messenger, this angel was truly sent by God. So Gideon goes in, he gets some meat, cooks it up, gets some broth, soup, cooks it up, brings it out with the bread, and puts it down on a rock, and the angel touches the rock with his staff, and fire from the rock consumes all the food, and Gideon's blown away. And then the angel disappears, and the message is like a solid message. But Gideon builds an altar of rocks there and names it Hashem Shalom, Jehovah Peace. And the reason he does that is he says, somehow I've seen God through this angel and I'm still alive, and he's kind of stunned. But inherent in that is the idea that God is meeting the needs, not just of the people, but God is meeting his personal needs. He's met his anxiety, he's met his worries, and that's what the God of peace does. So Jehovah God, Hashem, the God of peace, Hashem Shalom, the God of peace, will meet your anxieties. He will meet your worries. He will meet your troubles. And he will touch them, and he will handle them. And you say, well, how does he do that? In only godly ways. I just urge you to take your troubles and lay them before him. And just say to him, I'm calling on the God of peace to come put peace in my life and to deal with this crisis, or deal with this problem, or deal with this worry. And the God of peace will do that. That's part of his name. That's your assurance in this, your video thought for the day.